Joystick, the Joystick Show. Up, down, left, right, B, A, select. Start.
Welcome, gamers, to our Twisted Reality. There is a gameplay turn.
Joystick, the Joystick Show.
All right, it's the Joystick Show. Oh, I just love saying that. I miss it so much. You know, now it's a month out. I just, you know, this used to be part of my world back in the day, every week, right? Talking to thousands. Now, we sit around with my son, who is no longer a small little young man, much bigger. We are a father and son combo. We talk video games and, of course, the generational differences that exist between us. And pretty soon, we're going to have a third gen coming in underneath you. You're getting long in the tooth yourself, young man.
Yeah.
Huh? Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk video games. We go by our gamer tags. I'm Bogue Spear.
I'm Thing12.
And so if you want to be a part of the show, we always offer it up to everybody. I know we got a nice tight-knit community, right, of a.k.a. the Rumble Pack. So if you're your first time joining us, you're anointed part of the Rumble Pack, and thanks for listening. How do they get a hold of us?
You can get a hold of us at joystick_show on Twitter, or our Discord, JoystickShow, or our website, joystickshow.com, and then our Gmail, joystickshow@gmail.com.
There you go. All right, good stuff. So let's start in, because we got a lot to go over. It is the, getting to be fall, winter down here in the southern country as well, and October. This is show 125, I think we're up to?
Yep.
All right. Our sponsor for this show is Jumpsuit Johnny, a velvet two-piece comfort apparel that every gamer will love to lounge in. Inspired by the late 70s and 80s, this cozy clothing comes in large, extra large, double X, and triple X. Lady gamers, you will enjoy your finely cut cloth in small to extra large under the Jumpsuit Jane tab. Visit jumpsuitjammies.web and order yours today for just $124.99 plus shipping and handling. No more bunching up or unwelcome gatherings while in your gaming chair. Visit them online and order yours today. Do you even know what a jumpsuit is?
Yeah.
Velvet jumpsuit?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Oh, it's nice. You kind of want to, like, steamroller over somebody in it. It's that comfortable. Huh?
I mean, I would get one.
Yeah? 124 bucks? Well, maybe the sponsor would send us one. You know what I mean? It'd be nice of them every now and then.
Maybe.
Doubt it. But all right, let's talk. What do we got on the gaming front? This is where we talk about what we're playing, what's happening, and what's going on.
What are you playing?
Me. I am breaking into a game that is, again, from the board game world, now on the digital world, which, by the way, plays very, very well on both sides of it. This is a game that if you say the word to a non-gamer or somebody that knows a little bit about games, they'll cringe. But I'm telling you got to try it on digital. It's called GLOOMHEAVEN. GLOOMHEAVEN, the digital version. So this game is actually, you know what I love, though, first and foremost? You know what it's on? It's on Epic. So they did a deal with Epic, okay, the IP. And I'm going to tell you what, I rarely ever have an issue with the Epic server, it being down, anything going on. It loads instantly, updates instantly, and it's just there.
Yeah, I think I've definitely had problems with it.
Really?
One, I don't think it loads that instantly. And
what?
Two,
with what? What games did you have?
No, like games load fine.
Oh,
but the launcher's a little strange. But it also, I don't really like its. I guess it's a library and how it holds all your games is kind of strange. But
because you're just used to like Steam and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think it's more. I think Steam is a little. I mean, it's better as far as I think how it markets all the games, but yeah, I mean, Epic's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know when I got it, downloaded it. Of course, I saw it on Steam, right? But when you launch it and play it, I guess it came. Or no, I take that back. No, I read it somewhere saying that they offered it for free for like a short period of time, and I was able to jam on it and get it, which is awesome. But then they don't now. But I even went in, and this is how it drew me in. Once I got it, I paid $5.99 for the solo version, too. So I actually dropped $6, right, after the fact on their content. to play that solo version. So yeah, love the game. So if anybody knows anything about board game, it really does convert all the mechanics and everything directly from the board to the video game. Now this seems like a pattern for me because I think the last show or 2 shows before I was playing a game called Nemesis, which was also Nemesis Lockdown. It was a board game, right? Great board game, but it also converted into a fairly decent video game. Now, I don't think it's as sharp and transferred as well as Gloomhaven does, but the reason why I say that, and the important thing about Gloomhaven, why I played it, if you remember, I think Opecular and we were talking a while back, is that we really just wanted an old school turn-based game, right? Turn-based strategy game that really focuses, on Dungeons and Dragons or just some kind of, dungeon lore, right? Lore. And so when this came up, I was like, well, wait, this is turn-based and everything. I saw it on there and I went on and downloaded it. And sure enough, I mean, it's like we talk about this old Pool of Radiance, right? The Baldur's Gate before that, the originals. I even downloaded that game, and boy, I turned it on for a half a second. If you remember me talking about it before, had to turn it right off because it was so bad. But I wanted to remember it in its glory and beautifulness as a kid, right?
Yeah, that's similar. I just got done because we played Skylanders when we were kids.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, actually almost a year ago, I replayed the whole first game with a friend.
Yeah.
And just for this nostalgic purposes, and I had a lot of fun just by the fact that I would, like, every time I turned the corner or went to a new place in that game, I would think, oh, I remember this part, like, and that's it.
Right.
The actual game itself was like, okay, like the gameplay and everything wasn't even that fun. It was almost boring. But it was very enjoyable to go through it again.
Right, to kind of feel it again.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted to do with this game, right? But the problem was, it was so bad in 8-bit, like, going through it, and the text and everything, I was like, oh my god. But if you like turn-based, and you don't mind, again, rather than the nowadays modern shooters and everything, spawn die, and all that type of stuff, this game really causes you to take some strategy into it. There is some card-based stuff too, kind of like, not quite like Magic the Gathering, but there is some association to the card play, and it's really good. The best part though is if you download the game and play it, the tutorial's fabulous. It walks you through and really provides a great setting. And quite frankly, if you do end up playing some board or whatever, it really does teach you almost how to play the board game as well, if you ever want to sit in on a longer session or something like that as well on it. So good stuff. Had a great time playing it, and I definitely recommend it to those looking for a turn-based type of a strategy game. So that's what I'm playing. What are you doing?
So I actually just tried this week a game that it recently became free in September, but I believe it released a while ago.
Okay.
It's called Conquerors Blade. And it's at first, like, it advertised as a very, like, a very, how do I say it? I don't know, just like a medieval style game where you siege castles and other people's defenses. So you have like a ton of units, all controlled by different people, and then you swarm a castle where they're defending it with their units. Yeah, sounds
like a mobile game they do nowadays, where you like just launch tons of people at things.
Yeah, but this takes an interesting approach because it's normally the games like that you're looking from top and you're looking down onto it. Right. But this one, you're first or third person, so you're running around and you're actually doing the fighting while controlling your units.
Wow. How do you do that within the screen?
Thought it's hard, and that's one of the things about the game is that it is such a cool idea. And when I was looking at and reading everything the game has, I was thinking that there's no way that this could all be true because it all seems really cool. Yeah. And then it got on and it actually happens that it is all true, but it's just not executed in the way that I think it could have optimized it. Yeah. Because...
How so, though?
It's very hard to control your units when you're down there on your own. It's a lot of, like, multitasking you have to do because you have to be fighting yourself. You have to be also commanding your units. And all of that at the same time of keeping track of where other people are. Yeah. And it's very hard to do from such a small viewpoint. And then on top of that, you can only control one like squadron of units at a time. So you go out there.
Oh, you can't like group grab? No, like everything like old like Halo Wars or whatever.
Nope.
Because that's also top down, right?
Yeah, and it's also you can't really send your units anywhere. You can just make them follow you or attack.
Okay.
And so...
And what do they attack? Can you point to what they attack, or is it just always the bait?
Yeah, you can. You can point to what they attack, but it's kind of just janky. Like the whole thing, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
The way that everything works. The graphics aren't. The game looks good, but the graphics aren't amazing.
Well, I saw it when I walked in and I saw you playing. I mean, I thought they were pretty good for, again, it's not the modern day console stuff for sure, but it's still pretty good. With some shadowing and stuff. And
it just feels like it's just such a cool idea, but I think that it was executed a little strange. And
what was the price point on it? What did you pay?
It's free.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, you can't be that. A free 90 free is a great rate.
Yeah.
Good price.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it just, like I said, it just went free in September.
Oh.
So it's... I don't know. I might give it a little more time to see if it gets better, but it's just unfortunate because it was such a cool idea. And it also has like RPG aspects too with your character building and equipment. So
it does, so you can like
it's
upgrade.
like it's almost like
do they sell skins? Is that how they're making their money?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's almost like they threw just everything they could, every idea they could into the game.
Yeah.
And before finishing the previous one, so they kind of any idea they had, they threw it in the games because there's so much in it, but it just doesn't feel finished.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So
cool.
Yeah, I might give that a little more time, but we'll see. The other thing I'm playing, which I actually surprisingly enjoy a lot more, is the new Marvel card game. It's called Marvel Snap.
I gotta try that. I just saw you playing it, and especially because it's now on mobile. Wait, I'm gonna bring my mobile up right now.
It's a mobile game.
Well, I'm gonna download it right now.
That's what it advertised as. You can play it on.
I have no mobile games I'm playing.
You can play it on PC, but it's the PC version's early access. It's essentially just the mobile game on your monitor,
right?
That you play with your keyboard and mouse, because they're working on making it more.
I mean, is it like Magic? It looks a little bit simpler than that.
So the game is super fun, super simple, and really addictive because the games are quick.
Okay.
So I won't get into all the rules, but essentially there's 6 rounds, and it's kind of like a lane card game where there's 3 lanes, 6 rounds. Each round you play a card with the energy.
Yeah.
And you spend your energy to play cards, and each card has a power level and the energy it costs to play it.
Yep.
And then each of them have either ongoing or on reveal abilities.
What's that mean?
On reveal means as soon as that card gets revealed, or you place it down, it happens.
Gotcha.
And ongoing is the entire time that card's out there, it plays.
I could get addicted to this, but it looks
so. The only problem I have with it is that, and I don't even know if this is a bad thing yet. It's just it is very simple. Mm-hmm. Like every game, or at least in the beginning, until you get more cards and you can make newer decks. Every game it's very similar in the play style and what you do.
Okay.
So, because it's so simple, you kind of go in and you hope that the luck you get works out. Like you hope the map that gets chosen works best with your deck. You hope the other players' cards work best with your deck. But I think that's just the appeal to it, and I think that if they added one more mechanic, it'd be perfect because it is a little simple that way. But otherwise, it's very fun, very addicting. There is the way they have set up, because it's a free card game. The way to make money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the money come in here?
Is cosmetics, and they do cosmetics in such a cool way. And each card you have can get upgraded. So your card starts off as just like a piece of art and a border.
Yeah.
Then you upgrade it once, the border changes color.
These aren't NFTs, right?
No. You upgrade it twice, and the card becomes 3D, and it looks really cool.
No kidding.
You upgrade it 3 times, and then it becomes animated. It just
way.
moves a little bit. It's not a crazy animation.
Yeah.
And then I've yet to upgrade it 5 times, so I don't know. But you can keep upgrading them and get cosmetics.
Yeah.
And then you spend money on newer cosmetics that you can get for cards, and this is the other part that's a little bad, is you get cards when you buy. So you can't just purposely go buy cards. You can only buy what they have on like the battle pass or whatever they're calling it, the season pass.
Yeah.
And so it's $9.99 to get it, but in this season pass, their launch one, for example, they're launching it with Miles Morales, Carnage, and
Carnage?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Carnage is very cool, and I'll get into why in a second, and then there's another one, I forget. I think it's Spider-Woman. Yeah. And so the only way to get those cards is to spend the $9.99 for the thing. So it is kind of annoying in that sense, but as long as they keep the game pretty balanced and it's not like the pay to win cards are too overpowered. Then I think it'll be perfectly fine because you can build any deck you want. And one thing that's really cool is that because of the different effects, you can build decks that like utilize all those effects to the best possible way. So like for instance, you'll have a card that says if this card gets destroyed, then all your other units get +1 damage or +1 power, and then you have another card that purposely destroys your cards.
Okay.
So that's just an example, but you combined all the like to build the perfect deck.
And why isn't this like a regular card game, like a board card game or a
because
thing?
all of the numbers keep changing so much. So like for instance, if you play a card, it says if another player plays a card in this same lane, then they get +2 to their power. And then it'll be like, oh, and at this location, it's -3 to all players' powers for the rest of the game, whatever. And so you have to keep track of all the numbers and powers that each individual card has. So it is a lot of things. So I think eventually they could put it into a physical game, but right now it works very well as online.
Gotcha.
It's super addictive. It's super fun.
Well, I'll have to give it a try. I mean, I can tell. I mean, if the numbers change a lot, that's probably why there's no way it's on board, because it's so hard to keep track of tokens and all that type of stuff too. So, yeah, I'll download.
I think if it eventually could be, if they create some sort of mechanic, maybe where each card they sell actually has like a spinner on it, so a power level.
Oh,
thing.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So
that's not a card. That's
no,
like
exactly.
That's almost like a something.
It would be
different.
a weird card,
right?
Yeah. But if they I don't know, they'd have to create something themselves, or I don't know how they would do it, but yeah, it's very fun and it's free, so
yeah. That's pretty sweet. Nice. Well, I'll have to give that a try and say good stuff. Okay, that's what we're playing, right?
Yep.
Good stuff. It's time for the news.
The Joystick News Report. Joystick News!
Alright, so what are we talking about in the news here? What's going on? There's I try, keep track of what's going on. Some stuff's really good, some not. And of course, when the big news hits, I'm like, we gotta do the show. And of course, what's the big news? Stadia is out, right? Stadia has left the building, as they say, right? Has left the stadium. That was bad. No. Yeah, so they decided to pull the plug on this bad boy. I mean, we can talk all day long. I was talking with a buddy of mine who actually works for Google. Not with Stadia, but close to it. The Google Play, and the reality is that I don't know the gentleman, I can't remember his name, that they brought in to lead this. This is his third failed console setup. I say failed. He was in charge of the PS3 and the Xbox One.
Whatever happened to the Mad Max or the Mad X?
The Mad X? What do you mean?
You remember that box? It was supposed to be a console.
For what?
It was called like the Mad X or the Mad Max console.
From who? From who made it?
It was a.
Oh, it's a standalone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have no idea. That's rarity.
We talked about it.
We did it a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about so much over time. I can't tell. The question is though, is I said, what's going on? He goes, yeah. Every time he tries to launch a console, it never, it doesn't perform that well. Well, the situation is they never came out with like their own IP. They bought a couple of companies, right? They bought some studios, but they never did a Google exclusive that really took off. I don't know what that's about or why, but I think that was the biggest issue. And not to mention, they hung their hat on that. If you remember Cyberpunk when it first came out, they were offering like free Cyberpunk with every purchase and all that stuff. Well, that was remember when it first came out, it flopped.
Yeah.
So I think that was a double whammy at starting off.
Yeah.
Even though I'll tell you, I still think it's the best controller out of everything I've seen. I mean, they offered with the screenshots you can hit right away, send it up to YouTube, right? And instant. I thought that opportunity was huge.
Oh, and wasn't there like a help button that instantly brought you to...
Yeah,
that was really cool.
I mean, all that stuff. Plus, it still felt like it had a combination of both Xbox and PS3. They really worked it well.
Something else thinking about for Stadia is that if they partnered with a company that already had a console that was popular, like Xbox or PS5...
Yeah.
It would have done much better because you had to buy the actual controller. The controller was the console itself.
Yeah.
And if you just bought, or if you had it maybe almost working like a PS Plus or a Xbox Game Pass, where it's built into the console already, then let's say it was a membership or a subscription, you paid what, like $50? How much was Stadia?
I think it was like $199 or something like that. $189.
Well, if you bought, maybe it's a subscription, right? So it's like $20 a month,
right?
And it made it so that it did everything that Stadia does, where it, like, you download the games.
Yeah.
You download the games off of a server, so you don't actually have to. So you just instantly play it.
Right.
And that's all they offered, right? Was that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and honestly, Xbox, when they started doing their beta,
They
where you
also-
literally go
yeah.
in and play it now off a stream, they just took that right away from them.
The entire thing of Stadia the entire idea of it, just removed in a small Xbox update. Where
Exactly.
now you can,
That's what they did. They go, okay, no, thank you, and they went in and they did it, and they included it part of their Game Pass, so it doesn't even cost you more.
Yeah.
So they said, here, I'll show you how to take on the big guy there, and I think they obviously they successfully did it because they're out now. You know, why didn't they go and buy Epic Games? Speaking of the launcher and everything, why don't you just buy Epic Games or buy one of these things and make those
really expensive? But yeah.
Yeah, but like Google doesn't have the cash. Right?
Yeah.
If you really want to get in the business, and I'll tell you what, it's a billions and billion-dollar business, right? Of course it's worth it. So I don't know. To me, it's they
Or you don't even have to buy them; just partner with them and give them.
Nah, they don't. I mean, it's hard. You don't. It's Google doesn't dance well with everybody. I mean, they just buy you. You do what I say. This is what we want to be done. So, but I'm surprised. What also surprised me, which I thought I got to give kudos to, is they're giving money back to everybody who bought the game. So this is how powerful and how much money they have.
Yeah.
They got coffers sitting back going, you know what? We'll just give them everybody their money back. Which two things says something about that. One, they got money to do that, right? Plenty of money. And two, there wasn't enough people buying it for it to even crack an issue for them to give them their money back, right? I don't even know what the total number was that purchased it. I kept trying to look it up, and there's a lot of hidden conversation on that, in the hundreds of thousands, what have you. But, you did buy basically, well, that was the thing. You did buy the controller, but you also got one of the Chrome sticks, one of the Chromecast, the Ultimate. Well, shoot, you can still use that for everything else. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering how many, they also probably know that not everybody's going to do it. They'll just throw the controller out.
Yeah.
But if the controller is Wi-Fi and you could use it on your computer, I don't even know if that's true or not, but that would be good too. At least use the functionality of it. But anyways, so yeah, you can get go online. It will shut its doors officially on January 23rd of 2023. They said though you will be able to keep playing the game though up until then, the games, all this stuff. If you choose not to do the refund, but you go online, they'll show you a way to verify how you paid for it, which might be a pain in the ass, but probably not nowadays the way you bought stuff online because everything was online, right?
Yeah.
You'd be able to figure that out. So get your money back if you want it. And I know they said, though, they weren't going to give their money back on like the Ultra Stadia something, which I have a feeling it was just the upgraded content that you could get while you had it.
Yeah.
So that's because you had it while it was there, So, which is interesting. But yeah, so that is the big news while we were in hiatus and did that. So what else is in the news?
I'm not sure.
What do you got there?
So
we had, I know, the thing that came up was they're talking about, I read this article about in-flight gaming. I know it's not a huge news maker, but you think about it, we've done a lot of flying as of late, and you think about when we play games, you brought your Switch, right? All these type of options. Well, now they're saying they're going to start including streaming gaming, right, against the back of a plane when you're playing. So now they're going to start offering more games to play.
That'd be interesting if you have like a slot in the back of the chair where you open up and then there's a controller.
Yeah, you grab it and play. That would be cool. Or my thing is, can't you just plug in your Switch into the TV?
No.
You can't do it?
No. But
maybe
the
they
Switch
should make
itself is a TV. It's almost.
I know, but it's smaller than what maybe is on. Well, not all of them. Some of them might be. But anyways, I just thought that was interesting that they talked about it, and it is true. Like, how many people watch videos or watch movies versus game? They'd rather be gaming. That's why they're bringing their consoles, right, with them. So they're going to be offering it. Now, I'm not talking about your Solitaire or Battleship or all that type of stuff. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Good quality games that you can just play, So one thing I do recommend, and this is just a piece of advice if they do it, don't offer Flight Simulator.
why not? That would be cool. Do it in the
What do you
sky.
mean? Oh, you want to crash the plane while you're in the plane flying?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah, no good. And out. Not happening. All right, so that's, I know, great piece of advice. All right, what else we have going on? Just a piece, I saw that is a big conversation in the video game world. I think we had, you know what? There is some stats that came out. I always liked reading these stats. I think people would, Rumble Pack might appreciate some of this. So I'm doing a little reading, so stay with me on this, but I thought it was some good stats. So back in the day, just to give you a context, I mean, back in 06, 07, when they launched it, when, being an out-of-the-closet gamer was a thing, we started launching the show and everything, and we started talking about who's there. It was called the Lost Boys. At the time, it was heavily boys and guys and men playing the games, and the average age was 33 years old, 32 to 33, and which I was directly in. I was 32 at the time, and so we talked about it and how you couldn't reach them on TV or in movie theaters or anything. They're all gaming. That's what they did. So it became a very captured. They call it the Lost Boys, but it was a captured audience. They did that, so they focused on it. Well, so I'm looking at 2022, which is now what, 15 years later or more, right? We're looking at it. So check this out. So some interesting statistics. About roughly 215 million Americans play video games. Sorry, guys, across the pond. I know we got a bunch of listeners there, and we appreciate you. This is mostly it's American information, but the reports also mentioned, but I'm sure the statistics aren't far off across the board. They talked about there are more people 45 and older playing video games than under 18 right now, which makes complete sense because at the time when I was doing it, the average was 32 or 33. That they've just grown. We've stayed with gaming all through this. So not only are you still picking up a lot of the 20s and 30s, but you have all the 40s and 50s, right? A little bit of 60s-year-olds playing still. So this night now...
How is that possible?
What do you mean? Well, there's not very many 18-year-olds. We've had a decrease in population and birth rate. Okay, first of all, without getting too... This is a gaming show.
Talking about,
But I'm saying overall, just overall girthiness of it. Now, check this out, though. The interesting thing, though, within that, according to the report, the average age of a video gamer is still 33. Right? Now, the majority are males still, but check this out. Majority is a very...
but average, there could be not a single 33-year-old player, and that could still be the average, so...
Well, yeah, that's true. We didn't say the median or the mean, right? But the point being is it's still 33, which tells you are still getting a lot of younger and a lot of older people, right? So that tells you that both young and old are still playing that. That's actually a great point. So if you want to look at the math of it, why 15 years later is 33 still the average age? Well, because you've picked up a ton of younger and older to offset us that have grown older, plus you have the people in the middle.
Yeah.
Does it make sense mathematically? All right, you're the one with the better SAT scores. You got that, right?
I got it.
You got it. Okay, cool. So, in doing that, the interesting thing is it says the majority of gamers are still male. Yeah, right. But check this out. What's the majority? 52%. 48% of gamers are women now. So it literally is both back then. When I was doing it, though, I tell you what, it was like 80-20, right? Yeah. 70-30 at the most at that time. And just 15 years later, it's a huge change on that, which is fabulous. It's good stuff. So everybody's playing. You can talk to guys, girls, whomever, and they all know they've all played or have some kind of conversation. It says here that majority foster that find 92% of players age 18 to 34 play with others. 89% of those age 35 to 44, and 56% those 65 and older play with folks. So it's interesting that that there's people 65 and older play more solo games or by themselves, right? But it's still a strong thing right up till, till 44, what have you, 18 to 44, all play with everybody. So, I mean, it's a social environment. I don't have to tell everybody listening to this. If you're listening to us rant, you know you're heavily into gaming, right? Mm-hmm. So, but some good statistics on that. 97% of Americans, whether they play games or not, found that video games can really add benefits to our lives. Okay, 97%. I wonder who they're asking. Across the board. If it's skewed even gamers at all, they're going to say that. But Good stuff. So I don't know, just some quick stats. I thought that was cool. That how it really didn't change across the board, but it did bring in a full plethora of folks of all sexes and all sorts. Okay, so what else do we have? Last couple things here. I'm not, you know me, I'm not a big list guy, like counting down guy or top whatever. But a couple of cool things, because I think you and I spoke about this a little bit. It was about AI, right, and the development of AI.
Yeah.
And the game was talking a little bit about. I mean, what's your thought on right now AI? Just from the time you started in your days, right, to where it is now. Do you think there's a huge change? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think, but the difference, I think there's been, I guess the best way to describe it is like the AI change has been linear from the past 10 years, so it's slowly gotten better as far as what they've been doing with it, because they haven't been like developing anything new, just upgrading it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so now I think it's going to start being exponential because of what they're doing with, I guess, AI is like creating paintings you saw.
Oh my God, it's
if they
amazing.
can somehow find a way to bring that into gaming, it'd be just crazy, because later you'd be able to say, oh, I wanna play a game that's, you type it into something. I want to play an open world survival game that is also story based or whatever,
awesome.
and it goes and gives it a day, it generates it, and it creates it for you.
Oh my God, that would be
codes
you're
it for
right.
you.
I didn't even think of it. So you're extrapolating past, like I showed you, it's called Midjourney or something, where you basically type in, and just so the Rumble Pack understands what we're talking about here, as far as the AI and the advancements outside of gaming, it's just in the art world, where literally you go in and say, okay, I want a medieval knight stormtrooper with Darth qualities or something like that, right? And it goes out and renders it, and it brings back a picture of a stormtrooper in like the Metal Gear look, right? With like a couple of black, like I don't know, whatever, chainmail looking things that's red and black on it. And so I mean, it's like they just created instead of a dude listen to what you said. You just type in some words.
Yeah, because it's almost like a while ago. You remember it's called Akinator, or how you would type in, it would ask you 20 questions.
Yes,
and then you put those in
always
and
get the end.
So because it could use Google like that, it's just the AI could find, you type in the word.
So
like
to tell everybody what that is, Acronym, it was where you basically ask a series of 20 questions, and it was able to tell you the movie or something that you were talking,
the character,
or the character that
you're thinking of,
you're thinking of, which is again like 7 Degrees to Kevin Bacon, but go ahead from that.
So so that idea where you can use Google to like sift through all that and use analogy, I think it's similar where you type in the keyword like Darth Vader or Stormtrooper, it looks it up, it knows what it is, and then it uses images
associated with that, right? But that's the thing. It's smart and like creates that. It's a most amazing thing, guys. Check it out. But now let's go to what you're talking about, which is just getting me way excited to think about it. I didn't even think about this. And like this would be on the NFT world and all the stuff where it's like, look, if I say, create this world and create this game, but then think about bringing an NFT in or bring yourself in as a character, like create me as
that's
something.
Farther, but
I know, but think about it. Like say, put me into a chain like a medieval stormtrooper helmet minus the helmet, right? So you see my face, but with some kind of mask that looks Vaderish. Oh my God.
Yeah,
right.
And then on top of that, like that's still on the.
And that's my character.
The AI picture generating, but yeah.
But then they render it as your character to play.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm in. I'll start the company now. Let's do it.
Or even games themselves can be created from ground up just with AI. Like you want this type of game, and then they do it.
Right.
Which I think could honestly.
Somebody call me. Let's do this. It's awesome.
I think that could be done. I think that could be done right now.
Yeah.
But obviously the games would be not AAA. They would be like games that you could probably play for 10 minutes, have fun, and then never play it again. Yeah. Because if you say all these
Wasn't
keywords,
it like Roblox?
if you say the internet already knows what you need to code an idea. So if you give it enough information,
and we say internet, it's what Web 3 we're talking about, right?
I'm just talking about the internet.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about this NFT stuff. No.
Okay. No, but Web 3 is okay.
That's okay. Right. And so if you type in enough and then it has enough information to go off of, it can find the code that represents what you're saying.
Yeah.
Add it in a way that creates a very scuffed but playable game
version.
Yeah, I think that could be done right now, and then later be obviously,
Yeah.
made better.
I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, we'll get to a point where we can generate it maybe fast. Like, even those pictures we talk about takes like 2 days or 2 weeks or something. I don't know what it is right now. I haven't had time, but I'm gonna subscribe to it. I'm actually gonna spend, I think it's 30 bones a month, which I don't have. And I mean, if I need one more subscription, like I need a hole in the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my God, the value of that, just to create that stuff is amazing, right? Dragons with I don't know, like pregnant dragons with. No, I have no idea what I'm saying now. All right, so anyways, a lot of fun stuff. So check out that. What was it called? Midjourney was the name of it, and then there's something else we had mentioned on it. But all right, so back to kind of rant on that. We were just looking at the top 10, the AIs, right? Because we talked about like I remember Star Wars, the clone. What was it called? Old Republic or something. Really. Changed AI, and there's a bunch from Metal Gear Solid 5. They say changed AI drastically. Half-Life, their AI was revolutionary for the time. Maybe you guys agree or disagree with this. I'm just throwing it out there for thought. Left 4 Dead 2's AI, like how the zombies came at you, moved around, was revolutionary. Stellaris AI is remarkable for being functional. That game looks way too complicated, even though, I wish I could play those, because they look so much fun if you actually get into it, I bet. Resident Evil 2's Mr. X and how he responded to your play was big. I have some Dwarf Fortress, looks like an 8-bit game early on. Star Wars Republic Commandos. So Republic Commandos, I thought was definitely cool, but I thought the one game before that was better when they had the one solo guy that ran through the campaign. He was able to draw people to him, and the guys would duck. The stormtroopers would actually duck behind something when they got shot.
Yeah.
That was huge, I remember at the time. Revolutionary versus running into the lane. Bioshock's Infinite's Elizabeth feels like a real person. I wasn't I remember Bioshock, but I don't remember that specifically. Both sides fight intelligently in the Last of Us game.
I heard that for the Alien Isolation horror game.
In the last one, yeah.
I heard the alien in that was very good. Like,
really?
Yeah, because it's essentially a game you're just
Xenomorph.
It's just you're running around in the station and you're hiding from it and you need to escape. And
right.
It walks around, and I heard it was very good AI for that.
To know what you're doing or figure out what you're doing and stuff. Very cool. Yeah. So anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. A few folks out there, if you're thinking about good AI games, take a look at those as well. All right. Anything else? I think that's it for the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's the news.
This concludes your Joystick News Report.
Joystick News. All right. So last couple things. Oh, I know we usually don't talk about this, but let's hit the riff wrap. All right, so the riff wrap. So first of all, as I look over in the corner and see nothing but spaghetti of our VR just laying over there doing nothing, right? Nothing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out what's next for the VR world, but
well, there actually is a new game that just released for VR that is like changes VR and its player base or what's possible with it.
Yeah.
And there's an old game that we actually owned called Boneworks. I don't know if you ever played it, but I bought it. I played it a lot. It was really cool. It was the first game, or maybe not the first, but the best one to use. I think it was the first to use the physics engine that made so not only you interacted with objects, or you like in real VRs, if you went up something, your hand would go through it. Right.
If you went up something, your hand went through it?
If you went up to something like a wall in the game, your hand would just go through it. It would just clip right through it. But you could still grab stuff. You'd have you'd have like collision with the things you're holding, but not the things around you. This game uses an engine where everything collides with everything. So your hands collide with the walls, your object collided with another object, regardless of if you were holding it or not. So if you were holding, for instance, let's say you grabbed a crowbar that was on the ground, and there was a pipe hanging above you, and you wrapped the crowbar around that pipe, you could pull yourself up.
Oh,
everything touched everything, basically.
Got it.
And there was a ton of other stuff, like the physics that they had, the gravity.
Gravity's huge. I mean, I think that's a big piece, right?
Everything about it, every idea of physics, or at least a lot of it, was implemented in the game, and it was crazy. They just released a new one called BoneLab,
Okay.
which everyone has been very hyped for, and what makes this game different is it's essentially the same game with an upgraded version of the physics engine,
Yeah.
but it has opened up for other players to go in and mod the game in a very easy way. So now any players who likes to mod those games can now do it very easily in this one and make anything they want.
Wow. That's pretty sweet.
And any game they want through this game,
it's called Bone what?
Any level, BoneLab.
BoneLabs. Does it cost money? What is it like?
Yes, it probably costs
How
money.
much bones does it cost?
I don't know.
For the lab.
But yeah, it's gonna be crazy to see not only what people can create in it, but just what people can do in VR.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's just changed the space already and what they're gonna be able to do with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's like because they talked about like the metaverse, and then they try to associate that with VR, and that was the article and stuff I was reading where you really can't compare the two now. It's completely kind of a different scenario, right? Walking through, experiencing stuff, putting a headset on is one thing, and it's also the other is just seeing the level of interaction and stuff that's supposed to be happening, whether you do VR or whether you do not VR.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but. I'll check it out. We'll see. Maybe we can get that. We'll have to get the wires untangled and try to do that. Or quite frankly, just go. You can pick up a Quest 2 now for $250. Is that what it is or something? You know what I mean? With less wires and less stuff. Now, again, granted, you're not going to get the level of processor. But then again, our computer's hurting anyways, right? We're having issues with it.
Yeah, I think the Quest 2 is definitely not the best option, but
better than we have right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's the second best option. I think the other one. Is the Valve Index, it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just the best if you have a really good computer.
Right.
Like the Quest 2 is the best if you have an okay computer. Like.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we have to look into that come Christmas time or something. I don't know.
It's cool.
Figure it out. Put ours up for eBay. Buy our original one.
Sell it for $10.
Right, no kidding. So, all right, so that's that. Next is
Deal of the Week.
So, what do we got? Any deals? I saw a couple things quickly. Some great content for the show, so we wrap it up here. But I saw they had a $99 eShop card for Nintendo for $81. So anytime you can just get like free money, right? It's worth it.
If you're gonna be spending that money on Nintendo anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought. So. Looks like it's still available. You can see the deal and get it done. Where is it at? I was trying to take a look at Sidekick deals. I found it. There it is. With tax and everything, it's $86.46. You can go to eneba.com, I guess, and look for it. So, anyways, got some deals on Nintendo bucks if that's what you fancy right now. So. That was pretty much the big deal, right, of the week, is anytime you get direct cash and better purchasing power for your dollar, go and do that. All right, and lastly, let's do new releases. So October, I know we talked a lot. You remember that Marvel Snap came out on the 18th, right? So now I'm going to be probably playing it like mad, sitting in meetings where I should be paying attention. And thanks to my son, I'll be snapping it.
Yeah.
So we'll be seeing that. What else came out? Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection came out. Mario and Rabbids Parks of Hope on the Switch. That Warhammer 40K, what is it? Show's Blood and Teeth? I don't know. Came out on everything on October 20th. Which is today, actually released.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that works.
Big thing is Gotham Knights comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's the big release, and it is getting a lot of hype, by the way.
Yeah,
a lot of
I'm
conversation.
a little worried about it, but I think.
Well, we talked about last show, right? Yeah. And so maybe we'll get a chance to play it, but there's a lot of conversation, man, a lot of buzz about it not having Batman and how well is it going to do?
Yeah.
And can you do games, without the main guy, even though in like a spin-offs? Games and so forth. So I think this is going to kind of set the trail, blaze the trail on that if it's going to be something or not coming out. So let's keep an eye on that for sure. What else we have? Anything else coming out? Pinball Wizard on the 27th. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. PC also October 28th. Modern Warfare pre-orders. Oh, it's 28th as a pre-order? Yeah, it must be. On the 28th is when it starts. So when is that coming out? In November, probably?
Yeah.
Or late November, maybe? God of War, Ragnarok, November 9th pre-order is available. So now we're just pitching pre-orders now?
Yeah,
We're not even pitching the games? Come on, guys. What else coming out? Anything you see here early in November?
There's a first very big DLC for Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Bloody Ties, it's called. This is going to be pretty big for the game. I haven't played that game in a minute, but I did everything I could. The first game was... not the first game, when it came out, it was very fun. It still is very fun.
Yeah.
But I know they fixed a lot of problems that the game had.
Yeah.
Starting now, so...
Stay Human, is it? Dying Light 2, Stay Human?
Yeah. So that could get a lot.
And that's coming out on November 10th, right? Oh, the other one that did come, if you're a Sonic fan, I know Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously, but it's out for everything. Sonic Frontiers? I don't know if that's...
I heard a lot of people aren't excited for that.
No? Okay, because it's coming out for everything, not just PS5, which is interesting, right? Yeah. So November 8th, that's due out. So... lastly, is there anything before I probably get back around the holiday, right? Coming up and do another show, if not sooner. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for Switch, November 18th is Warzone 2 for November 16th coming out. Goat Simulator 3, that's right, there's a third. You can't get enough Goat Simulator? Let's bring out another one. That's coming out as well in November. Good times. All right, that's the show. Good content, my man. So we're checking out try to do this show at least once a month. We really appreciate you listening if you're Rumble Pack and stay with us along the way. And if you're new to the show, please share it with everybody. Let folks know it's a father and son combo. It's just rants and talks. My son with the real content, me just rambling on. We appreciate you listening. If you want to be a part of the show, bring in questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, how do they get a hold of us?
You can get all of us at joystick_show on Twitter, joystickshow@gmail.com, or joystickshow.com, our website, and our Discord joystick show. Joystick Show.
Gotcha. At joystick. All right, folks. Until next time, game on.
Joystick, the Joystick Show.